Okay, so we know the Angels need to make a lot of changes this offseason. Their bullpen, their starting pitching, pretty much the entire pitching staff. What kind of trades do you see in the future, this near future, that could help the Angels next season?
I think no question they need to trade for starting pitching. Not necessarily sure who they can acquire, but I think you've got to explore what you can get for people like a Howie Kendrick, like an Eric Ibar, possibly a Mark Trumbo, and then maybe if you deal one of those outfielders. I think Kendrick obviously brings the most back, but it depends if you want to give him up, and that's going to depend on how confident you are in Grant Green, bringing him up and having him be your everyday second baseman next year. If they feel confident in Grant Green, who, small sample size, but has shown a lot of promise so far this year, then you might see Kendrick or Ibar Dell and bring some starting pitching in.
Okay, you mentioned the outfield. Now, which outfield do you think? There's a lot of talk, Colin Cowgill, J.D. Shuck, Cole Calhoun. Which one, in your mind, would be the one to go?
Cowgill or Shuck. Right now, I really like Calhoun because you don't know what you necessarily had with Pujols because of the injury. You want to deal Trumbo. Calhoun brings the flexibility of also being able to play first base, which I think is important. Also, Calhoun has been in the system the whole way, so he is an Angels guy, true and true. And I think that does mean something to have a player you developed all the way up through your system.
Okay, so we talked about trades, but now, do you think in the last 2 years the Angels have made some pretty big free agent signings, no question? Do you think they're going to go that route again?
They might sign some pieces in the offseason, but you're not going to see another Albert Pujols or another Josh Hamilton. Simply put, the Angels can't afford it right now. With the contracts to them, you've got Wilson, you've got Weaver. They can't afford to dish out another $100+ million to a big-name free agent.
Now, sticking with the starting pitchers you just mentioned, and let's move on to Jason Vargas. He's making another start here tonight, or today, I should say. And his first outing coming back from the disabled list after the blood clot wasn't too hot, not really what we expected. His minor league starts weren't incredible. What do you think the biggest thing is for him, and do you think he's going to be traded here in August?
I don't think he'll be traded because I don't think, given that last start and the injury, the market, I don't think he brings back a lot. I think the biggest thing for him is just getting in a rhythm again. I know the rehab numbers were what they are, but rehab starts are different. His last start was his first start back, so you're still getting into a feel. Obviously, it hurts the Angels because they want to win, but I don't think they should put too much stock in that one outing. I think you give him a couple times through the rotation, normal 5 days rest, and let him get into his flow, and Jason Vargas will actually start performing again.
Do you think he's going to be signed again from the Angels?
I think it's definitely worth exploring. Obviously, you can't predict what the Angels are going to do, but in the time he has been on the mound this year, he's shown how valuable he can be to this rotation. And with the uncertainty that lies in this rotation and in the bullpen, so as the pitching staff for a whole next year, I think it's important to bring someone back where you know what you're getting.
There's been a speculation about Albert Pujols using PEDs. What is your take on that? What is the take on that on the clubhouse?
Albert's actually been really good about it. I talked to him a couple days ago, Friday I believe, and he just said, I don't want to bring that distraction into the clubhouse. Right now, let's focus on baseball. Let's focus on the Angels. He released his statement, which obviously, if you read it, was very, very defensive. He was very angry, which if he is clean, he should be angry about someone saying something and defaming him. But he kind of won't talk about it, which I think is the right approach. Obviously, as we've seen throughout baseball, PEDs can be a big distraction. You look at what happened in the Brewers clubhouse, what's happening in the Yankees clubhouse right now. Albert just wants all the attention on the Angels, doesn't want any distractions, and just simply stands by his statement.
Okay, so we recently saw that MLB came out with the idea of instant replay for the year 2014. Do you know what the take has been around the clubhouse, how the players feel about it, and do you have any word about the umpires and how they feel about it?
I haven't talked to any of the players, but Mike Scioscia, who is on Bud Selig's special committee, he hasn't fully had time to sit down and digest all the details, but you could tell talking to him over the past couple of days that he knows replays coming in baseball. Like we saw last night with the play at second base, obviously they ultimately got it right, but he does feel that replay has a place in this game. Everyone wants to see the calls get right. Scioscia just has to see kind of the intricacies of the plan to see like how it'll all work, because I think there's still a lot of questions about how the challenge system will work how much time the managers have to actually decide if they want to challenge something, stuff like that. But I think overall, it's going to be a change, but people are pretty receptive to the fact that calls will be right and baseball, the game will be decided actually by the players, not the umps.
In your opinion, do you think it's good that finally, after all this waiting, and we know the technology is there, do you think that it's finally good for baseball, as well as how other sports already have it? Do you think for baseball in general, mainly for the fans, do you think it's the right timing?
I think it's too late, honestly. I think it's great for baseball that it's happening. I think when the technology is there, everyone in the press box, everyone on the stands, on the scoreboard, everyone at home watching on TV can see the right call, yet the umps have never really had a chance to re-look at a call or be able to fix stuff. I think was unfair to the players at the time. I don't understand why it's taken so long. A lot of other sports have it, the technology is there, there's really been no reason for there not to be replay in baseball.
Do you think it's degrading towards the umpires? Do you think maybe the umpires might be thinking that it's taking away from their job on what they're supposed to be doing? Or do you think that knowing from the evidence of all the missed calls and knowing that the fans can literally see the replays within seconds, that the umpires might be willing to give it a shot?
I think some umpires may have that opinion, but I mean, the NFL, NBA does it late in the game. Like other officials in other sports have been okay with it, and I think it's just acknowledging that the umpires are human. I know everyone likes to complain about the umps and say this and say that, but I think most fans do at the end of the day realize like people are human make mistakes. These calls happen in real time, they happen fast. So I think being able to look back, correct it, the umpire saying, hey, I made a mistake, but this is actually what happened, is a good thing. If the umpire really feels that he's being undermined or whatever, then I think that's honestly his personal issue and not really something to do with the game of baseball.